My name is Welch. I'm 35 years old, and my passion is Indian motorcycle. But those that know me would say that my real passion lies in helping out children who are less fortunate than I ever was. Okay, how far back do you want me to go? All right. We've been doing this for about 10 years. My mother's my partner in this. It was an homage to my mother, and she's Native American, and I thought, I asked her one day, I said, hey Ma, I said, what do you think about selling Indian motorcycle? I said, it'd be kind of cool to have Indians selling Indians, huh? You know, and she thought it was a great idea. We were actually the very first dealer that was interviewed by Kings Mountain when they were looking for prospects. Even though we were the first dealer to be interviewed for Kings Mountain, we were the 13th dealer to actually open.
I was born in New Zealand. I left New Zealand at age 21. My trade is engine building and specialise in motorcycles as well, but my trade is actually engine building, and through that I started collecting, started getting my own Indian about 16 or 17 years old, and from there that was the beginning of my love affair with Indians.
He had picked up this Indian, and he said, I was riding down the road on Snelling and I hit the trolley tracks. He says, see that scar on my leg? I think he was trying to stop me from riding. You know, that just made it more exciting to me.
Growing up, you know, my first love affair, the beginning of that love affair was an Indian motorcycle. Like, I couldn't ride the thing, but it was just great to look at. When it came to the United States, of course, I remember meeting Art when he had his old dealership, a little building across town. It was just taken back by them. Those old dreams of having an Indian motorcycle, I swept back to when I was 12, 13 years old, sitting on that bike, and now I'm going to own one.
I started riding the Indian the first year that we got the 1912. It was very rough looking. It wasn't original by any means. It was a Sunday afternoon and I was trying to get it running. And I just kind of looked at it and I looked at our other one that is restored. It was kind of an impulse thing, and I was working on things trying to get them rolling, so I already had half of it apart anyways. In about 2 hours, I had the entire motorcycle disassembled. Restoring it was kind of a, like I said, a quick impulse thing, and we kind of fell in love with it.
One of the first things that we did as a family, we went out to the Black Hills and my son proposed to his wife there at Mount Rushmore. That is what I was talking about earlier, with the kids being able to look back and remember that this is what they did on that bike.
Good to meet you, sir.
What's your name?
Rick Lawson.
Rick.
Yeah.
Rick is actually one of the guys that just drove up from Texas to come here on his Indian.
Shut up. You're right here.
Yeah, I had a good time, man. About 975 miles.
The infamous Rick Lawson from all the way from Texas to Minnesota just to come to our event.
So what'd you ride up here on?
I got a 09 Chief.
Really?
Yeah. And
It's good to hear, because I have a 99 vintage, so now I know I can go back to Texas on it.
You're welcome to my place anytime. Now, it probably would have been a perfect ride if I had had my stock pipes on it. I had Vance and Hines that had been on there for 3 years, and I had some problems with the pipes, but otherwise that was good. And you said you have an 09 as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you need a cry on my shoulder?
Is it dry?
He made it all the way to Owatonna before he realized he wasn't going to be able to move on any further. And so while he was riding, he noticed all this vibration and everything. And look at what happened to his pipe.
Holy buckets. That's awful. I would be really frustrated if that was me. You poor thing.
So,
Yeah.
so that's somewhat the sad news. Now I want to show you the good news. Let's go show you the good news.
Yeah.
All right.
I know where this is going. I can smell it a mile away. Oh, well, she's in the middle of it.
So the good news is your pipes actually arrived this morning. This morning, just as his pipes broke down.
Because I think these have been on back order for months, right? So, like that look. Art's put us up to this, man.
I'm weighing the odds.
But the kicker is these are the exact same pipes I was trying to get, so that was the interesting part.
Well,
So.
I'll tell you what, you can have them, and then you can give me some new ones. They'll come in time.
Dude, you were awesome.
Yeah, I know that. Just remember that.
You were
Plus,
awesome.
you're bigger than me, and your handshake's pretty cool.
Well,
I'll give my ass-
I didn't think we were going to wrestle. It means a lot to me, honest to God. It's
Now, you come that far,
Yeah, it's-
and you blew your pipes out. I hope someone do that.
but I do have it, and I would.
Indian it unites. It's American. It's if going to Indian culture, I like it as uniting. Art's been calling us for a little while to reach out and make contact with us, and we formed a relationship through that. And then he was having his ride here, and it's a good charity event for. It goes to the kids. It's not necessarily a glory one. It's an essential one, and it goes directly to the children, and they're going to benefit for it. So we're all on board for stuff like that.
We're gonna make the world's fastest Kiwi.
Not really, but my road's got that one, man. I got some pretty big boots to fill that.
This will be a lead up to that. Started telling me about the fenders and how they changed over the years.
Yeah, the front fender on an Indian, they introduced a full skirted front fender, or full skirted fenders, front and rear. And that was what became very iconic with Indians. You've got a beautiful Art Deco fender with the skirts on it. And that gave Indian its a distinctive look from that point on.
What was the purpose of making the long skirted fender?
It was style. Some of that may have been to keep the road, rain, mud off you and off the bike, but primarily Briggs Weaver was into style. Just imagine going to a race meet in the day, you'd be out in a field just like this, and the one bike that would be clearly identified would be an Indian every single time. The other American manufacturer, Harley, knew that they had to do something to become iconic, and that's where they come out with a Hydroglide front end with the what I call a slash cut front fender, which is straight on the front side and then curved down. Indian was always a graceful, it had graceful lines, it was a gentleman's mount, it was a very refined motorcycle. Generally they were a pretty bulletproof bike.
On Sunday's ride, we're going to be heading down Indian Trail. That's going to be part of the ride. Very curvy road. We're expecting over 200 people. How coincidental.
That's my baby, man. 09, she's finally gonna be back and running again.
Hey, they look great. Congratulations. Don't worry about me though.
Yeah.
No, I'll be okay. No, really.
We have to take away some stuff away from the guy who has everything.
It didn't take him long to get it on, eh?
No.
Give a little gas and go by the Harley boys here. It feels good. I'm not sure exactly what all they've done is like, but it feels great. Yeah. It was worth it, man. Just get back up to Minnesota, see Art and everybody. Where I'm at, you don't have the opportunity for many Indian events. They're almost all Harley events, so this was an opportunity of a lifetime for me.
We are the first and only dealership in Minnesota. And my legacy is starting up a charitable riders group, the Indian Arrowhead Riders Group of Minnesota. And we're slowly planting seeds out there for other riders to start other charity groups.
This is just a hand-painted, airbrushed vest. Okay, there it is on. Gosh, I mean, and you might want to really look at it because it's very well done.
You expose people to your brand by being open. And if you're just closed-minded and it's only Indian only, then the chance of cross-pollinating, cross-marketing, you slim your chances down. And some guys that we get to ride old bikes, and they have no intention initially of riding old bikes, but they see how much fun we have. We go out Death Valley, invite them along, and just have a real good time. And they're on moderns. The club, most the antique club just doesn't allow moderns, but I encourage them to come along because those are potential members. And they see how much fun we have on our Indians. Like there's half a dozen of us, we take our vintages off, we take them off-roading in Death Valley. And let me tell you, it's brutal. I mean, stuff, we only go where dirt bikes and four-wheel drives go. And it's really, really tough. And there's only about, between 4 and 6 of us will do it every year. We like that adventure. And if something goes wrong out there, I mean, you crash, which I did, I mean, you're stuck out there. I mean, you're not going to get a tow truck out there, you're not going to get anybody that, you've got to get yourself out of there. So it's an adventure.
Well, you know what? I might have to sell one of the kids and have one of those made.
For me, I enjoy bringing bikes back that are in a basket case situation, bring them back, restore them, and save a piece of history.
It's all Indians, and then there's gonna be all different ages and eras and brands and types, you know. So that's gonna be really cool. It's really fun. The biggest difference is if you're a motorcycle rider of today, you obviously your throttle's on your right side. Indian back then used a left-hand throttle instead of a right hand. Indian tried to sell to the police departments. Most people in the world are right-handed. So Indian used a left-hand throttle so you can drive your throttle, pull your revolver out, and shoot your gun while never having to let off the throttle and chase whoever you're chasing. You do a lot of pedaling because you got to get it pedaling to get it going, and if the motor's not running right, if it's bogging down, you're pedaling to get the RPMs up. So you'd have to do a lot of pedaling if it's not running right.
This whole day's been good. Yeah. So I'm pretty damn excited, yeah.
I'm actually really happy to say we have a bigger turnout than I expected. So this is really great. So everybody, nice round of applause for all you guys. Thank you guys all for coming out. We can start lining up right now. If anybody needs gas or anything, please go right now because we definitely want to take off at 4 o'clock. We're not going to be going any faster than 30 miles per hour, so, and we are going to be taking back roads all the way to my home in Stillwater.
It's a very close-knit thing because, you know, the Indians are all very classy motorcycles. They're not just like so mass-produced that you're just like one of the crowd, but it's definitely like a closeness. Like, hey, you know, we gotta take care of each other. Just riding a motorcycle is it is kind of a freedom thing.
Tonight is about showing a unity between all eras of motorcycles. To me, Indian has such a tattered history that all the bikes to me are real Indians. They're all from different eras, different ownerships of different companies and everything, and today's about unity. This is the first time this has been done in Minnesota at the scale that it's been done. There's always riders' politics. It doesn't always turn out the way you want it to be, so, you know, that's the sad part about it. Not everybody on this ride today is in a riders group, but it doesn't matter because that's not what today's about. I think the politics a little bit is pride and ego, but it all comes from the passion within everybody that rides a motorcycle that has their own idea of what the brand should mean. I believe that everybody that owns an Indian motorcycle has a spiritual connection to their motorcycle. Man, the ride went perfect. I couldn't have asked for a better day. Man, we even had help from the cops, and I didn't even plan that. So that was pretty damn cool. Yeah, definitely cool. I think they saw the vintage bikes, the real vintage bikes, and they're like, we should probably help these guys. As far as I know, the first Indian-only ride in Minnesota, and not only the first Indian ride in Minnesota, but the first one that was of all eras. I mean, from 1911 to 2012. So that was absolutely cool. We had a 100-year span of motorcycles on one ride, and there were more bikes on one ride than I think. Everybody told me they'd never seen so many motorcycles just on one ride.
But Indian riders get out and ride where most of the Harley riders with old bikes don't ride them. There's a few, but Indian guys really want to prove they still run. And, you know, and that's what I find really fun is that you just get out and ride them every day. It can be your daily ride, and they perform just great.
On flats I can get going, it just doesn't have enough to pull it, so I need to tinker a little bit more.
What we have here is a 1913 Indian, and it was raced on a board track in the early 1900s. We found it was pretty rough, and we reworked it to where it is today, and I race it. My family is very supportive of it and stuff, and my crew chief is my youngest son, Avery, and it's got no brakes and no clutch. So when the motor is running, the back tire is moving. So you push it to start it, and everybody groups up in a couple parade laps, and then they give you the checkered flag, and away you go. You know, it's 99 years old. Next year it'll be 100. I'm gonna race it next year yet, and maybe retire it after its 100th birthday. Just the history is awesome. Like the whole thing about it. You know, this is the biggest gathering of Indians that I've ever seen in one spot. Meeting some great people. You know, it's a tight-knit organization. You know, everybody gets along well with each other, and you know, that's what it's all about.
Every time I went to my grandparents' house, we'd walk down Rice Street, and there was this one little shop, one bike, one stall, and every time, it was an Indian dealership, he always had an awesome bike in the window. And it would sit there for a while till it sold, till you'd walk by and see the same one quite often, and then that one would disappear and a new one would appear. But I never, ever could walk down that street and not look in that window. And ever since then, I've had a weird obsession for them. I've seen, I mean, I can't even tell you because I've been to Sturgis 9 years, and I've seen endless tattoos Harley Davidson. I thought, well, I'm not a Harley guy. I'm really not. So that's when I did it, 02.
We have a very good friend whose name was Indian John. His real name was John Thompson, but he had a great old Indian bicycle or bike, and he would come to these Patriot Guard meetings, and he kind of led us through the whole Patriot Guard thing, and we got to know him very well. He was a wonderful guy. He got sick. He unfortunately passed away, and so we went looking for his bike, and
so we were trying to find his bike to buy it and restore it, and somebody else beat us to it. Okay, so we found another bike, fortunately, another Indian, and we ride that bike in his honor. Shared a mutual background in the Navy together, and so when we showed up today for this Indian-only ride, the folks at the store had gotten the license plate off his bike, and so it's Sea Chief, and for sea being the ocean, being in the Navy, that was the best way he could abbreviate it. So it's very touching for us that we finally got a piece of Indian's old bike, you know, Indian John's bike. So this is going on our bike in a special place. We're going to wire it on in front of the headlight or the windshield somewhere where it'll be sort of legal, sort of not, but it's going on our bike in honor of Indian John.
And then we use our Indian for the Minnesota Patriot Guard, where we go out and we do interments or send-offs and welcome homes, or honor our soldiers and all those people who serve. So that's what we're doing with it.
I think Indians are great, mostly just because of the legacy of them, I guess, you know.
Yeah, the originality too, and how they started, and how I knew chiefs look, the fender skirts and the whole works, how they just look exactly the same, and just the flowing lines of how they are and how beautiful they are.
I was 4 to 5 years old, and my Uncle Chuck, he came over to the house and he brought a 47 Chief over, and that was my very first ride on an Indian motorcycle. And yeah, and that's what set the precedence for being an Indian owner, you bet. I've owned Harleys, Kawasaki's, Yamahas, Hondas, all the metric bikes you can think of. And yeah, I mean the Indian rider is truly a unique class of their own. I mean, most Indian riders, they don't sell their bikes, they just add to the collection.
Well, it was the first really big successful American bike. It was the fastest bike. It developed the 45-degree V-twin that Harley then copied. Harley copied most of the things Indian was doing in the first years of development.
and there's a certain amount of people that want to be different and don't feel it when they go into some of these other dealerships, other brands. But the Indian is selling you on, it's not even selling you on it. I mean, these people already know about the passion and the history of it.
I hope to continue the legacy of our dealership and Indian motorcycle through what we're doing today, and I'm just looking at I'm already thinking about how I'm going to outdo myself next year. Well, tomorrow's ride is going to be more of inclusive of everybody. Well, my dream has always been to do an Indian-only ride, and we accomplished that today. But tomorrow, another dream of mine was to grow the ride, and with all the registrations that we have, we've already, I think we've doubled. People came in today just to donate money, and tomorrow we're going to have a cool auction. So I'm looking forward to the auction, and we have George Sedlak that he was gracious enough to donate. Definitely a very cool thing.
What was your motivation to even paint this? What were you trying to bring out the history of these gentlemen, honor these gentlemen? What was your thought?
All the above. My friend was making this documentary, and he told me about what they were doing. When he showed me the photo, I said, I love that image. Who's really paid notice to Bill Tillman and those guys from back then? And what young people don't know about the history of motorcycle racing in those days, I think this would maybe get more interest into it. The public, the young people are appreciating, once we tell them what's going on, is walked around and said, this is what they did, and who they are, and they announced it. People embraced it.
This painting is, again, was a photo from 1951, a very hazy photo. These gentlemen were national champions, 51, 52, 53.
And when I saw that, I said, man, I got to do that image.
The writers, I'm assuming, too, gave you input as well on
a lot of it.
A lot of the
Yes.
design.
Yeah, they corrected me on a lot of things. Like, George, because I had a black frame. And I said, well, I like the maroon frame.
Does it cause a stir? Has it caused some energy to come out of it?
Yes, in fact, we sold it. Our first one up there at the Sturgis display. And we were just basically there to show it and release it, and I purchased one. They just made such an impression being so fast with these Indians. They dominated. Thanks to Indian, that people are really starting to understand what's going on. It's just cool.
That's what inspires me to build those bikes as well.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Older generation?
Yeah. Yeah. And I like mixing, old styling with modern engineering.
It is a living legacy. Motorcycles will always be remembered. All brands of motorcycles will be remembered, but the Indian legacy lives. I mean, it's just part of you that lives in spirit and soul.
My passion, my life has all revolved around Indian motorcycles. And it's very dear to me, it's very personal. It is our way of life.
I know that promoting of goodwill and that throughout the Indian community, and when you read the history, it is just a gathering of like-minded people trying to do the same thing and enjoy and giving back to the community something more. And
it's nice to support the organization. Any opportunity there is to get out on an old Indian is a good day, and to help kids, on the ride. It's all a win-win for everybody, and it's fun to go out with a group of people that are all in support of the same thing. Most riders are some of the nicest people I've ever met.
I'm riding on Sunday because, art's got a big heart for the community, and it doesn't matter if it's a community here or abroad in South America, Mexico. It's for children's school supplies. I think I was around when he first started this. Last year we had a ride with about 117 bikes. I think there's almost 200 this time, if I'm not mistaken. But one, it's a great time to get out with a huge group of like-minded people. Whether it's an Indian or a Honda or a Harley, it doesn't matter. That ride's about the kids. As it turns out, there will be a lot of Indians, and it's a sense of pride to be a part of a group that's raising a lot of money for kids, and I get to ride one of my Indians in it and be a part of that great thing. So, hey, it's going to be a wonderful time.
It's all about giving, and it's all about seeing the kids come in and actually get the stuff they need. The great part about this is that everybody that was once a kid, and everybody that you know had to go to school and have their own school supplies. The best part is that this year is going to be our biggest and greatest event, and I'm just really happy as of right now that the forecast shows that it's going to be a great weekend for it. I only anticipate it growing every year. So.
Is there anybody here who has not been on a ride before? Who has not been on a ride? I need you to raise your hand. You are not on your own ride. Okay, you are on a ride with a lot of people. So if you have a space of more than 4 or 5 cars in front of you, chances are you're leading your own ride.
This is one of the first rides I've been on where we had road guards up front and they just distribute out for all the stop signs and the lights. So it's been really smooth.
People have come together to give back to the community. To me, that's what this is all. I mean, you go out there and you can ride that same ride, but looking at what we have done and what we've accomplished here, it's just something that's been able to give back to the community.
Everybody's getting along. We got bikes of all brands and of all models here. There is no discrimination when it comes to charity. Charity is what it's all about, so we're definitely happy.
When you have a look in the rear view mirror and all you can see is a whole bunch of motorcycles just going on and on and on through those rolling hills, you just look back. Sometimes you're not even believing the mirror, and you gotta turn back and just have a look and really savor that moment. One thing I've found about motorcyclists or bikers is that we all get along. I've done a lot of miles all over this country, and most of it's been by motorcycle. When I'm on my motorcycle, I always have a friend somewhere.
Oh gosh, it was great. We had a wonderful time, good scenic view. Everybody did well. They kept formation well. It was just an incredible day. The riders came out. There was just more than what I anticipated.
It's beautiful. I've never been to Ellsworth before, where this is located, and I lived in Minnesota for 3 years back in the 70s. Never been out in this area. It's beautiful. And this winery we're at, Vino in the Valley, it's gorgeous. And I'll be out here in a second if I visit up here again.
You know, this is really a great event. It was a great ride. We pre-ran it during the week, and it's like, this is just too good for anybody to miss.
The ride went great. I couldn't have asked for a better ride. I'm very happy. Everybody's been complimenting the ride, and everybody's been telling us how great it is to be here, and we definitely got blessed with a really nice day. So I got a little chilly there, but we made it here safely, and we're going to be shooting out of here in just a little bit. But man, great support from everybody that came out. Everybody's loving it, so I'm very, very happy. Success, definitely some success. So
I think the Beatles had it right when they said, all you need is love, but I think that being from Britain, they didn't realize that you had to have a passion of an Indian motorcycle to make love happen.
Road blockers to the front!
The purpose of starting the Indian Arrowhead Riders Group was so that we would actually form a charity And we wanted that to be a part of our legacy for Indian motorcycle of the Twin Cities. And seeing the big crowd behind me right now is really is a testament to that.
Thank you very much for this. Thank you. All right. We got some really good prizes coming up here in just a little bit. 652. 652.
And they had a great ride. Had an opportunity to pick up this beautiful painting. Got a chance to really get to know a lot of folks, meet some new friends. I'm looking forward to come up in 2013. I'm going to ride up there again. And hopefully the weather will be as excellent as it was this past time. That's definitely going to be the centerpiece of my Texas-style man cave or my building out here.
We've definitely accomplished and reached our goal. So we're really happy with today's turnout. We were happy with the whole weekend, the way the entire event worked out. Nobody got hurt and everything, and I hope that this is something that even if I'm not here in the future with this dealership, that this stays, because this is obviously helping out the community and helping out all kinds of people, all ages of kids, and we just want to continue this with a really good aura to it, if you know what I mean.
It's just really nice to be able to send them off with a full backpack ready to start the school year.
Looking forward to doing this for the next many years as we can.
I like to color.
I like to color.
I like to color too.
Thank you, Indian Motorcycle, for donating school supplies to our kids.
Awesome.
I got chicken skin when I was watching all the guys drive off on Sunday. Just how many people pour their hearts out and just give so much. And then just seeing the kids come through the door and helping them out is really a great thing. So just really honored to be a part of it.
The future of Indian is very bright, in my opinion. One, we all know they had a false start and then they closed and started again. The good news is when there's enough people behind a great motorcycle or a great anything, if there weren't for people getting those machines and repurposing them, and, putting them together for future generations to see, that would never happen. And I think Indian has done that successfully by holding on to the heritage of the motorcycle, the style. I know there'll be changes in the future, only because that's just how it is with motorcycles. Tastes change. But I see the future of this Indian being in this industry, being a front runner.
I would like to see the heritage keep on going strong. I believe that Indian does a very good job of preserving the heritage of their brand, and I would like to see it grow more.
I think the future, where it presently is in very, very good hands.
It's nice to see the brand coming back and somebody working really hard at making a go of this, and you want to support them.
Art came out with a philosophy that I enjoyed, that I listened to, that I believed in, and that is why when he brought this to the Twin Cities and asked if we wanted to start a riders group to follow that brand, I jumped into this full-heartedly. I said, this is where I want to be. We're promoting the right issues. We're promoting and developing the right thought behind the reason why we ride, and it is a fellowship, a brotherhood of men and women that enjoy motorcycling and all that follows with it.
Indians had a broken history, but the legacy doesn't die there. As long as we keep the older bikes running, as long as we keep on riding, we keep it moving and we keep it alive. And no one knows what the future will bring, but one thing is for certain, there is a future.